So you have this record done. I've heard it. I love it, and we'll talk about it and kind of give people a preview of it. But you don't want to play the songs yet. You were just saying.
No. Well, we just got done with it. So.
Just got done with it.
Yeah, we've been done with it. The mastering takes a little bit, and the mixing after you're done with recording. So it's not done until then. And then usually, you go do some press, or you'll go home for a minute, and then we haven't even gotten to rehearsals yet. So we've only just started with any kind of rehearsing at all. So no, usually you wait until the record's out, to play the songs. Like
right.
You don't want, not in this day and age. You can't. Nothing's a secret anymore. You can't go and just say like, hey everybody, we're gonna play our new record, and hopefully you'll like it. Maybe if you could not put it on the internet, because someone will inevitably put it on the internet. So you have to. It's like you can't.
That's something I don't think about with bands. Like I know, like social media's changed things. Like you don't get that mystique of Zeppelin. They probably wouldn't have those stories, in today's day and age.
Yeah.
But there's that's interesting.
But you can control what you do out there. If you just have to know what you're doing, and you can't blurt out every thought you have, and you know what I mean. And you can't just like, you have to be careful with how you present yourself, because how you present yourself is the way that you will be perceived. With things like Led Zeppelin, and I think they could do that now, and they would just probably not talk that much, which I understand that.
Yeah, well, some of the Jay-Z barely does interviews a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do want to talk about the record
because
I love it. And last time you told me there's like a living time and a writing time. I think you have to experience things so that you can write about them.
Sure.
So between the last record and this one, what have you been living? What have you experienced?
Oh, tons of things. Like there's
okay, vague question. I'm sorry, but specifically.
Nothing specifically that has anything to do with the writing. I think that like nothing about. There's no like. Specific. Again, this is kind of me showing you the way that I'm answering.
Okay,
your
so okay.
So what I'm doing is not telling you, because I think that the records are there for the listener to decide what the songs are about. I think if you tell them, like, hey, I did this, or like, I did this, and then they look for it in the record, and then they can look for where they, where are you talking about that specific thing, and then there's it sort of just becomes less theirs and more.
I hear that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because I read, I think it was a Rolling Stone interview or article talking about, maybe you were talking about this record, and you wanted to evolve the band. Like you knew you wanted to go in it with a different sound, so I'm obviously consciously looking for where are things different, where are things changing, and I'm noticing like the double track vocals and like the lower register voice on parts, and there's still all that Gaslight stuff that we love, but then Get Hurt is the first single. Mm-hmm. And when I heard that, I was like, ooh, this is going to be a different album.
Yeah.
Not it doesn't go that drastically different like Get Hurt, but it's an interesting first song to let people listen to.
Yeah, I think that was the idea, is just to kind of let it
throw
out.
people off.
Like, well, not. I mean, we're not trying to make anybody upset. Like, we're not trying to rock the boat just to rock the boat. But I think that putting that out there kind of allowed people to sort of, digest the fact that, okay, this is not what I would expect in the first single. I'd expect like a big like rock song, but it's just. And we also just thought it was a really good song, so we were like, well, I think people would like this, so let's put this one out there, and then that was it.
Cool. All right. So you don't want to talk about it too much, but
sometimes it's very simple though as well. Sometimes there isn't like a story. It's just like you kind of listen to the record and you're just like, well, I think that this one's a good song. So does anyone else in the room think it's a good song? And then everybody goes, yeah, I think it's a good song. Okay, like, and then you just put it out, and then that's it. It's really simple sometimes.
I like how you keep using the word simple, because it's a simple, like the verses are pretty simple.
Yeah.
How do you struggle, or maybe not struggle, but toe the line between simplicity and complexity when you're composing a song?
I think naturally I gravitate towards simplicity, because just the music I came up from. Like I don't think like any of the bands that I listened to growing up were exceptionally complex. And I think that they had complexity in the way that they were able to.
There's a submarine going on.
I don't know what that is, but they would. Is that serious?
I think it's someone's phone on here.
Someone's phone. That's the most annoying ring I've ever heard in my life.
It's probably someone in your band.
Yeah, that is horrendous. It's not the most annoying ring. I'm going to take that back. It's not. That's an over. I exaggerated there. I went too far.
Well, you're a songwriter. You got to embellish a little bit sometimes to add things.
That's something people could learn. They go, So did you really? And then no, I didn't. I didn't really crash my car into a thing. Nope, I didn't.
There was a line in a thousand years. You talk about a woman's last words.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting. Like if you're gonna say this was someone's last words,
yeah.
that's an interesting thing to choose to write because it's a heavy thing, right?
Yeah, that was one of those ones where that actually came separate from the song. Where I was thinking of another situation, and I was just like, you can't do it had nothing to do with the band, and you just can't do what people want you to do sometimes. It's not like some people do it out of brattiness or out of rebellion or out of just you can't define me kind of thing. And actually the truth is that sometimes simply you just can't do it, and you have to be like, you're not going to get what you're looking for out of this, so I just can't give you what you want here. And I think that's like a funny realization about life, is that a lot of our time is spent pleasing other people. It is. I think everybody has a nature to want people to be happy. I mean, there are a few, there's few individuals probably who like you probably know someone, or I know someone who's just like, I don't care what anyone thinks, and who genuinely doesn't care. But usually those people they go about their own business, and they don't really. I've never had that. I've never
You're
had the ability. Yeah, I think to a degree, like I want people to be happy. I want my kind of view is very much that, like I obviously would, like everyone else, would like to get what I want, but I think one of the things that happens is that you would let Tom hit the road. I love you.
See, people pleaser, even at the
manager.
end. Yeah.
Well, because you got to give the good and the bad. You got to give a little spank, and then a little it's okay.
I got you. And you probably deal with an audience that way too, the same way.
No.
I don't know where it's going.
I don't. The audience, you just try to the audience. You just try to make them. That's one thing. Where that comes in with the band, where you are a people pleaser with the audience, because you want to give them what they want. You want to challenge them a little, but you don't want to. You never want to reprimand your audience. And I know this from experience. You don't want to tell them they're wrong, because they're not wrong, because you're the one that's leading them in the direction anyway. So if you're not leading them in the direction that you would like them to be led in, then you're doing it wrong. So
yeah, no, I like it. But it's a good segue, because I hear you were just writing the set list like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and
so how do you people want to hear certain songs?
Sure.
You might be sick of playing certain songs, because I don't know if you are or not. I mean, I'm sure it happens for any musician at some point. Sure.
Yeah.
So how do you decide?
Well, because I think sometimes you look at your audience and you think, I think if you think about it from the big picture and you go, well, kid paid $30 to come or $35 to come, then, and I don't really want to play this song, but I know that the majority of people want to hear this song. You sort of weigh that out and you go, you know what, you just play the song. Because why wouldn't you want to? The song's doing something different for them than it is for you, because they haven't heard it 900 times. They've only heard it maybe once, and so it's exciting for them. And if you can learn to give and take, it's just all give and take.
I hear you.
Everything.
I'm trying to remember the last time I saw you, and I'm trying to remember if you change arrangements at all to keep it interesting for yourself.
Sometimes we change arrangements a lot, and then
what's changed the most over the years?
Sometimes we took one song called Boxer that was off American Slang and just completely stripped it down to like almost a borderline acoustic song.
The version that's on the B-sides record?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we kept it like that. But you don't want to do that too much, because then I went to see Bob Dylan once and it really bothered me. Because
it bothers everyone.
It made me mad, like, because he was going in there and he changed all the songs to the point where they were unrecognizable. And the only reason I knew them is because I knew his lyrics as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh.
That's just blowing in the wind.
I left.
I got you.
I left.
You left.
I left.
And you're a huge Dylan fan.
Huge Dylan fan. I left. I was like, this is not what I'm in here for. I don't get it. I don't get why he's doing it. I don't understand.
Because he's Bob.
But then I saw him another time and he played everything exactly the way it was on the record. And I was happy with it.
Huh.
Whereas like, The Who and Bruce Springsteen, they're very much like, we're going to give the audience what we want.
I gotta let you go. I want to keep going with that. That was fun.
It's all right. I don't know what they're doing.
You got a lot of interviews. That's the deal.
Yeah, but they're like,
it's all good.
Quick.
They are quick. 5 quick questions, one word answers.
I mean, 308.
And we were supposed to do 305. I don't know.
I feel like that was quick.
Well, you're in charge this whole day. I got a whole. I want to talk about every song because I love the record so much. But you don't want to talk about them, so I'm not going to do that.
No, I don't. I don't want to tell you. The reason is I don't want to tell you specifically because I don't want to take
No, I get it.
The license away.
Yeah.
I learned that from Sheryl Crow.
Of all people.
They asked her if a song was about one of her ex-boyfriends one time.
Oh, I
don't
was
even
going to
remember
do
what
that.
song. But no. But
Yeah.
I mean, and then she said, if I tell you, then it's about that forever, and it's never about what the listener wants it to be about. I was like,
yeah.
well, if it makes you happy, then Sheryl Crow, can't be that bad.
5 quick questions, 1-word answers.
Okay.
Road or studio?
Studio.
Lennon or McCartney?
McCartney.
When you hear a song, what usually hits you first? Lyrics, melody, or rhythm?
Melody.
If someone's never heard Gaslight before, what song do they start with?
59 Sound.
In 1 word, the Gaslight Anthem.
Band.
Band, what did you say last time? Into it.
Into it.
Into it.
All right.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, no sweat. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
I like 1-word answers. Wow. All right.